What's up? This is Yuda. Another student question. In our lessons, we use the Selector kit that we can find inside Ableton Live. If you go to Packs, Core Library, Drums, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will find Selector kit clean and warm. And these Selector kits are just regular drum racks with kicks, snares, hi-hats, all those sounds. But each one of them, each pad, can hold up to 128 samples. So for example, here in the kick, I have a knob here, says sample, and I can scroll between different kick sounds. If I click on the snare, it automatically jumps to the snare pad, and I have another knob just to scroll between snares, which is amazing because we can also have access to a lot of different sounds, but we can also change sounds in context. We don't have to listen to them from the browser. We can make our beat, play it, and then change the samples, which is a very good advantage. Excellent. So let's see how to build our own Selector kits. So I'm going to delete this. And the trick about the Selector kits that they're using the sampler. So you do need Ableton Live Suite for this technique. There are other ways of achieving the same thing without the sampler. So I'm going to load the sampler in. Nice. Let's delete this clip. We don't need it. Now in the sampler, first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the interpolation to best, which will might give better results when you transpose samples. It will take a bit more CPU, but it will give you the best results it can possibly give you. And also turn on the RAM, because we're going to load a lot of samples. This one drum rack, although it's only going to have about 16 pads, it's up to you, but each pad is going to have so many samples. If you load it into your project, it might cause some lagging or latency issues, and the RAM should solve it by loading it to the RAM memory. Nice. So I'm going to open up the zone, and here we can already start dropping samples. Now you can drop up to 128 samples that will work with this Selector kit. I'm going to load much less, but you can load as many, up to 128. So let's load some kicks. Nice, we got them all here. Now, I'm going to go to the zone selector. I'm going to right click on one of the samples, and I'm going to choose distribute ranges equally. Nice. Now we can use the zone selector right here, or the chain selector, to select which sample is active. Nice. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group this sampler into an instrument rack. And then I can go back to my zone selector and map this zone selector or chain selector to one of the macros, let's say macro 1. Nice. Now we have it mapped right here. And this is our kick selector. Nice. Now you can map more things to the macro. For example, maybe you want to map the transposition. I'm going to click on this knob and hit 0 to reset it. Let's call this pitch. You can map things like the filter. Let's map the cutoff. For the kick, might be more appropriate to do a high pass. And let's also map the resonance and bring it to something more natural, like 20. Nice. So here we got our cutoff and resonance. You can even map attack and decay, or attack and release. And what else will map? Let's go and map the reverse. And we can even add any effects that you might want. For example, like a saturator. And let's map the drive. Click on it, hit delete, just to reset it. Okay, excellent. So now we have our kick selector ready. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the zone, and I'm going to load another empty drum rack on MIDI track number 2. Let's go drums, load the drum rack, and I'm going to go back to my kick selector track, and drag the entire instrument rack into one of the pads on the drum rack. Nice. Now we can simply hold Option or Alt and copy this to a different pad. This we'll call snare. Nice, let's also change the names right here. Now I'm going to go back to my zone, open up the zone, delete all the samples here, and grab some snares. Hold Shift, select the last one, drag them in, go to the zone selector, right click on one of them, distribute ranges equally, and we should be good to go. Maybe we'll change the filter from a high pass to a low pass, just to be more appropriate for this type of sound. And we can even fold all the devices inside the rack. Nice. And you can continue and add, for example, your hi-hats, tom, percussion, crashes, open hats, whatever you want. Even another kick with more samples. Just copy it, open up the zone, delete the samples, load new ones, go selector, distribute ranges equally, and it should be good to go. At the end, you do want to save this entire drum rack to your user library. Call it whatever you want. My super drum rack. It might take a second, depends on how many samples you have inside the rack, and that's it, you're good to go. From a workflow standpoint, this is a very valuable tool to have all your drum sounds already there, and if you're using controllers like the push, it's even more accessible, even more fast to make your own drums. That's it. Hit me up with any other questions. It's Yuda for Beat Lab. Catch you next time.